Hi guys, this is my response to Module 5, the video. The video was super entertaining. I thought it was super interesting how each relationship has its own journey, and while they're all super different, they all kind of come together in some sort of way of them committing back to their partner. So I want to start with Mike and Alana, who took the journey through the world. Can't remember what the route was called, but it was super cool to see how in the beginning of their relationship we could see their brain scans and how bright it was, and how fierce, I guess you could say, it was. And throughout their journey, I mean, they had fun, but they also had a lot of complications and stresses that added to the journey, and you can see that in the second scan, which in a way was kind of a bummer, if you would say, just because seeing a scan like that might affect your relationship in the long run. It did for Alana. I know that she wasn't feeling super great about seeing the results and was super worried about seeing the third result, hoping that Mike's love for her in the scan would come back, basically. And I can see how that can become a stressor in a relationship. It makes you doubt things and makes you scared ultimately. But the third test came back and it was positive. So I feel like that kind of is an example of how in relationships, when you first start out, it can be great and full of love and there's so much passion, and then once you hit like a bump and you are going through a little bit of stress and complications, what you don't understand, and you guys are having mixed feelings about each other, how it can kind of affect the relationship. But once people, and if they do, get through those problems and work with each other to get resolution to the conflict, you can go back to where you started, basically, with all the bright colors and the love that you once had. Not saying that that's true for every relationship, but it's definitely possible, I guess you could say. I also noticed that when Alana and Mike were on their journey, they were getting a lot of answers to the question, what was the question? Sorry. What makes love last? And while everyone had their own answers, the thing I noticed about at least two of the couples were that their answer was to choose the right person. And I think that that has a lot to do with this video in general too, because in the third couple, Anna and her husband went through a situation where he lost his memory in a car accident, and you know, if he had chosen a partner who couldn't handle the stress of dealing with that aftermath of him losing his memory, not remembering her or their relationship or anything, basically his whole life, had he chosen a partner that didn't want to deal with that, they could have just left him. But, you know, before he lost his memory, he chose a wife that he loved and that they had a good relationship, a solid foundation, and they loved each other's core values, which initially brought them to the after point of her staying and trying to make new memories and be okay with this situation and work with it. It takes a strong person to do that, and not everyone's willing. So I definitely think that he got lucky with who he chose, and that he did choose the right person. The second couple, I honestly am not even sure what to say about it. Matt, and how he is so I don't know if you would say he's overwhelmed with the emotion of love. I guess that's what I would say it is. I don't know what I would do, and I don't know how she's dealing with it, quite frankly, because he's still there. It's not like he lost his memory like the other guy, but he's just so overwhelmed, and I just feel like it would be very hard to continue a relationship without getting the love that you want. Even though he's trying his hardest, I totally understand that. I can't come to terms with it. I just would feel like I need more out of a relationship, and he would always be there and we would be friends, but I can't imagine that situation. So I'm having a tough time understanding that one. So if anyone has any feedback on that one, I'd love to hear it. But I do think that the first relationship as well as the third relationship are some really good ones to follow, and I think that it's important to remember that there will be complications in every relationship, and that when you're marrying someone and choosing to spend the rest of your life with them, that you remain focused on for better or worse, basically. You know, you deal with the complications and stress and you work through them as a couple, and that's what makes you stronger. So I thought this video was super cool.